start up and then we.
All right, let's go.
Hi, also let's get into this. Today we're not wasting very much time. Let's go.
Synagoge eingeweiht worden, die erste bundesweit. Das Mitsvah-Mobil startete gleich auf Tour durch Deutschland. Er soll dort Station machen, wo es keine jüdischen Gemeinden gibt und Raum bieten für Gebete und Gottesdienste. Ziel ist es, jüdisches Leben sichtbar zu machen und Vorurteile abzubauen.
Eine Synagoge auf 4 Rädern und gleichzeitig ein rollender Infostand. Bei der feierlichen Einweihung des Mitsvah-Mobils in Berlin verkündet der Vorsitzende der Schabbat-Gemeinde das Ziel der Aktion: jüdische Kultur zugänglich machen.
Hier wollen wir Sichtbarkeit, hier wollen wir Lebendigkeit und hier wollen wir Offenheit für alle Menschen. Wie können wir eine Zukunft vorstellen, wenn wir nicht das positive, inhaltvollen, sichtbaren jüdisches Leben haben? Das wird durch die Mitsvah-Mobil zum ersten Mal hier erreicht.
Das Mobil soll durch Deutschland touren, einen Einblick in jüdische Kultur ermöglichen, auch für Menschen, die noch nie eine Synagoge betreten haben. Zu sehen gibt es unter anderem eine Torah-Rolle und Tefillin, die jüdischen Gebetsriemen. Aber auch Gottesdienste sind im Rahmen möglich. Jeden Tag sprechen wir einen Teil der Gebete aus unserem Gebetsbuch. Wenn man also dieses Buch dabei hat, ist man für das ganze Jahr versorgt. Die erste Station heute, das Brandenburger Tor. Wo das Mobil in Zukunft steht, wird aus Sicherheitsgründen allerdings meist erst kurzfristig bekannt gegeben.
Okay, so that kid
Out of
is
security reasons, they only announce where it stands, short before.
okay. But his father was a Rebbe, in charge of a shul, Stratton in Postville, and he was my chavrusa. I can actually show you. Let me see if I can pull up a video of me and him together in Postville in yeshiva many years ago. Let's check it out here. Let me go.
So you made it over 1,000 subscriber. Thanks.
Yeah,
to,
we're doing
continued super. So now we can actually welcome people. So welcome, to our latest Ephi Zoom call. I think it's now number 20. Yeah, so it's number 20. So we do this now for a good 5 months along the parashot. Now we had the effort on Shabbat, and we are going into Purim tonight. So it's a very important time. And of course, we are, currently looking out, what's happening with the Sanhderin initiative, what's happening in Israel with the current thing. And then in our, pre-conversation, we said, we have the news. I think it ran like a couple days ago in the official state TV of Germany, where forceful is the ARD first program about the Mitzvah Mobil, from Rabbi Teichtal, who received, documentation, and I visited the Teichtal, I think, short before Shavuot 2015. I visited the and then 2017 I wrote him the first time, and then 2019 sent him full information package on what we do. Yeah, so Rabbi Teichtal should know Ephraim extremely well, very well, and knows our intention.
Okay, so
I think it's very good now that he comes out now with the Mitzvah Mobil.
100%. And okay, so this is Postville Yeshiva. This is where we studied. This is a picture from when I was there. I have some of the pictures on my hard drive as well. Anyway, we have to prepare it a little better than just off the head, off the. But Anyway, so I know the bacher, I know the student over there. It's very nice that they have a mitzvah tank. We call it a mitzvah tank.
Mitzvah tank, yeah.
Yeah, we call it a mitzvah tank because it's like the Rebbe's wanted to make a tank. So the Rebbe said basically that even though you have people that use a tank to clear some logs in a hurricane, but the real way the tank is built is in order to kill. All the soldiers have their guns, and the tank is a killing weapon. It's a killing machine. The Rebbe said, I want to make a mitzvah tank, which the whole purpose of the tank is in order to do goodness and kindness. And if you build a mitzvah tank, then you don't need everyone to have a gun. You don't need it to have weapons. It should be like a home mobile, a RV, where people can sit down, say l'chaim, put on tefillin, pray, study a little bit, and just be humane, do goodness and kindness, do charity, study Torah, and pray. Those three main things. So this is something. The first mitzvah tanks were like UPS trucks, you know? Those were the first ones. Like very, very old UPS trucks. I'm talking, 40 years ago, maybe more. So the first mitzvah tanks were old trucks. Maybe I could find something to show you guys.
Yeah, I was thinking about, we also have, Anton, our Levite amongst us. So he also created, we don't call it Mitzvah Mobile, of course we call it Ephi Mobile, and it's, I'm trying to find a picture. It's like, as you said, with a little office inside and table and so on, and beautifully, painted out with our logos.
So this is the first type of mitzvah tanks back in the day. Okay,
nice.
That was when the Rebbe started,
cool.
And then today, this is like the iconic mitzvah tank of in Crown Heights. Let me show you. Where's this guy? Here. This is the iconic. Let me zoom in. Where is it? Close this. This is the mitzvah tank, the classic mitzvah tank in Crown Heights.
Sadaka.
So every Friday it drives to Manhattan, and it parks next to some of the buildings, and they put on film with people and so on and so on. And then, of course, you have parades. 1 second. You have parades once in a while. This is the tanks in Israel, for example. Honestly, one of the issues with the tanks is that the stickers that they put, the wrap around, after a few years, it gets it gets messed up a little bit. And then the sun takes out the color, so it has to be. So here is a parade. So on the Rebbe's birthday, they'll take, right before Pesach, they'll take 50 or 100 according to the Rebbe's number, and they'll rent it from a company for at least for a few days to give out matzahs, and on the 11th of Nisan, and to put on film right before Pesach. So I grew up in this kind of environment. Of course, my brother Chaim, he rented a mitzvah tank.
Mitzvah tank. I like the term. Mitzvah. Sounds cool.
So if you're just renting, you put a poster on it like this. So you rent it and you just put a mitzvah mobile, some kind of sign on it. So you can't get it wrapped, just because you're renting it. So you could put some kind of.
So this is one already in Berlin. Take a look at this. This is the Mitzvah Mobile with a sign in front of the Brandenburg Gate.
Where? Here? Where are we talking? Where?
Yeah, go up a bit. Go up a bit more, a bit more. Where? Here.
It rolls through Berlin. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
First ever roll through Berlin. Crown Heights info. Let's go to that article. This is interesting. When was this one?
Okay, let's go. 1 second.
So actually, it's not news that it's, hey, they have now, of course, a super duper special Mitzvah Mobile. I understand. It's not just a rented one with.
I'm trying to see. Oh, this is 2015. Yeah.
Oh, this is exactly at the time we were talking about, 2015. When all the stuff started, we had signs in the heavens and on the earth. And now we are again, you know, in this time leading up to, here is the Rabbi Teichstein. So
Yeah.
there it is, you know.
1 second. Yeah, so here's a...
Yes.
So here they're holding matzah, so they definitely rented it about now, right before Pesach, to give out matzahs to the people. So here's someone already then at 2015 said many years ago, Tmimim brought a tank to Hamburg on Mitzvah, probably in the late Lamids. I assume they made other stops in Germany and neighboring countries. So they're basically telling them in 2015, this is not the first Mitsvah Tank. Have a good one. But anyway, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. So on the 20th, so this is very interesting. So on the 20th.
And here's the Chabad here. How is it possible? Hasn't Chabad been in Germany for quite a few years? How is it possible that there was no Mitsvah Tanks all these years? It's shtuyot. So they're saying that this is just a what we call a what do they call it? Clickbait, you know, headline, you know. First, this is in 2015. It's not possible that 2015 was the first time. There's definitely before, but I guess it's the first time maybe this shliach, you know, or this.
Now let me put it this way: there is, you know, there is no big Jewish community. There is a Jewish community, but let me say it's you have 30,000 illegal Israelis. There are a lot of Jews out there, but they're all liberal guys. So there is not like you have in New York, you know, completely streets and blocks all with Jewish people, with Jewish shops, and all in Hebrew and so on. I mean, if I've been places in New York where you think, okay, wait a second, where am I now? Am I in Israel? Everybody is Orthodox. You know, you have all shop signs are Hebrew signs and so on. So you have whole neighborhoods, they're Jewish. So when you go around there with a mitzvah mobile, this is awesome. Now, when you do this in Germany, in Berlin, well, you might get stoned or, you know, killed or whatever. You know, so the anti-Semitism, I mean, it's really bad, you know, because we ran with our mobile and we thought it's a super cool mobile, and we got attacked in the media, and people, you know, they do not understand this. Especially in Germany, Chabad is regarded as a very dangerous end-time cult.
Ulf, this is my idea of a Mitzvah Tank.
Yes,
you asked me.
I'm in it. You know, I once drove with a yellow hammer, okay, not with a H2, you know, from Tennessee to Florida. You know, super leather, full equipped, absolutely nice place. And I like these big limousines. They're very cute.
Yes, here. These are my vans. This is a van and the Jeep that I bought in Postville. We, you know, Mashiached it up. So that was instead of buying an RV. I wanted to buy an RV.
And I think, you know, Joseph, you become really more like Joseph. You know, it was Joseph who got like the color, you know, the colorful coat. You know, and when you take a look at the, you know, the ephod from yesterday, from, you know, from our last parasha, where we got to order it, you know, it's totally colorful. It's with purple, it's with colorful stone and with white and so on and so on. And so basically all Israel, a holy Israel, you know, is very colorful. You know, but when you go out, you know, especially in religious cycles, it's all black. I do understand. Yes, everybody is, you know, very sad still about the temple. I do understand this and so on. But, you know, so the priests in the Catholic Church are also black. You know, it's like black. You know, you go to the burial place, the guys in black. You know, it's very a sad color.
Well, the question is, you know, the Jewish people, we, as long as the Beis Hamikdash is not built, we try to do many things to remember, to mourn. So the real question is, what's the right balance between mourning and what's the right balance between keeping motivated to do action? So if we like I asked the question when I was in the Knesset, I was sitting at the lunchroom and I said, this place is so fancy and this place is so sparkling, that it doesn't give you the vibe of like the man cave kind of attitude. To think, okay, we're gonna have to sit here and in a bunker figure out how we solve the issues of the world. Instead, it gives you a feeling of like, hey, everything's okay. Everyone's walking around in fancy suits, like in the Hilton, So it doesn't really give you the vibes of, oh my God, the world is coming to an end. We have to fix it. Ulf, let me show you one last time. This is when I was in Post Move. Instead of buying, I bought the van and the Jeep, but what I really wanted was an RV like this. And this is the design that we were like sketching out, as me.
This is pretty cool. Yeah,
this is what I was thinking.
Bring a bit colorful in. We told you, citing the Moshiach, the first thing we do away with bad marketing. So yeah, I mean, when you think about this,
or this one here. This is like the one on my website, but here you get the full picture. See, this was
like
an idea.
Bumblebee. Like you want to have a Transformer Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you see the yarmulke, the kippah is on top. So even the car has a kippah, And so we really, but for me, it's just like in Chabad, you have people that are like we said, they're very dead. They're going through the motions. This is something that the Rebbe was very scared of, that people should get used to the motions and forget about the mission. This is something that the Alter Rebbe warned about in Tanya. Mitzvah Anashim Milumada, that people just go through the motions and they forget what it's about. So when you say colorful, I say life, I say alive.
Yes.
These, exactly the same thing.
Yes, exactly. I mean, this is like, I mean, the whole story with Joseph and his dreams, I'm thinking about, he was the child of his, of his old age. He was running around and he was talking about his dreams, So, and it's like these type of characters, they're still out there today. They are full of life, and they don't care if they're the older brothers, they open up their mouths and telling their dreams. And now the whole issue with, what we talked before with Da'at, Chokmah and Binah, how to bring now the idea, what you have in your mind, how to bring this into action. We see this in the whole story of Israel. How basically, some guys, they have the mind, they want to put this into action. And then others say, nah. Now, do you want to be king over us? No, you know what? We sell you, and then we will see what comes out of your super duper ideas. And so in a way, I mean, this is a political game now. It's a political game now. What we see today, like where a majority, I'm like totally upset, Joseph. Sorry that I, start blubbering right now, but I'm like,
no, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I'm totally upset when I see right now tens of thousands of leftist Israelis who scream now that now we have a fascist government, that they call Itamar Ben-Gvir Nazi, and that they want to bring down the duly elected democratically by the will of the people, the majority government of Israel, just because they don't get it their way fucking way. And I'm so upset, that this discussion, this is, this whole idea, people coming up with a good idea. Smodrich, says, we tried socialism, we tried capitalism. We should go back to a Torah-based economy. Absolutely. Gold and silver, sound money, and so on and so on. Just a just court system and so on. So. And now the left, they just hate it. They say, no, it's a total danger. When we make now the court, when we change here anything, now we cannot invest anymore. The economy goes bankrupt. It's like basically the same thing with Joseph and his brethren. That one guy, they come up with a good idea. They want to put this into action. And now the opposition, You know, the 10 guys, the majority, you know, now they say, no, you're not talking. We put you into prison. We kick you out. We sell you as slave, whatever. You know, and this I see, what we see in the story of Joseph, you know, happens right now in politics. In politics, you know, and this calling that Israel should be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation, where it said, oh my gosh, you know, it's we're neither a kingdom nor a holy nation. So how do we get there? How do we get there? You know, when every time you come up, you know, you come up with a cool idea, you want to make people holy, you want to show them the light, you want to, you know, give them a revelation, you want to give them advice. They say, no, it's not going according to your agenda. We don't do this, you know, it's going to our agenda. You have to fight now against climate change. You have to make sure that everybody is vaccinated. You have to go now into war and start Armageddon and Gog and Magog in the Ukraine. You know, you have to prosecute Trump and so on. I mean, this is what we are currently seeing, you know. And so over the next 2 months, you know, I think there are a lot of decisions made, because now the mood is people want to move out. They want to move out in the other cities. Did you listen to the CPAC speech of Trump? What he did? What he said?
Again?
Did you listen to the CPAC speech from Donald Trump?
No, I did not.
Perhaps you should listen to this.
I mean, I didn't listen. What, just now he made a new one?
Yeah, like 2 days ago or what? 2 days ago. It's CPAC, you know, so the conservatives, so they're meeting. And basically, Donald Trump was talking that currently America, you know, it's a communist takeover. We are talking about really that communists who completely departed. So we are talking about some Jewish brethren who departed from the straight path of Torah extremely to the left by saying, no, we kick everything out. No? So, and these are the guys who are currently in control. Yeah, so okay, now we have to be careful. You know, we cannot put this out now on YouTube because we will completely be censored. Yeah, because the election was stolen. It was a rigged election. Biden was put into power. And everything what Trump did good for Israel, Biden completely destroyed by paying immediately hundreds of millions of dollars to the terrorist entities of Mahmoud Abbas. Okay? And now, I mean, it's a very, very serious shit we are talking about. It's like the military complex, the inside guys of the military complex, and they are completely the deep state. They are the communist takeover. So, and Trump was talking about this.
So, Ulf, I want to say like this. Okay.
Yeah, and he said, you know, we are in the verge of World War III, and it's true. We are on the stage. Trump wanted peace. We wanted peace. You know, for 7-8 years, we are trying to come to, you know, to some peaceful solution concerning some hardcore question where we said, listen, this is all stuff in the past, you know, where there is no need to fight about, you know. For example, the whole Jesus issue. I mean, Jesus is dead. He won't come anymore. What's happening now?
I'm here.
Well, yeah. Oh, so suddenly I was gone. I didn't see the screen. I don't know. So, yeah. So there are some issues where, you know, where I was thinking, you know, we could just sit down as grown-up guys and talk about it. What was not possible, because in the inner, everybody who over the last decades, out of their socialist idea anyway, or left ideas, or because they fell for some propaganda narrative, so they left the path of Torah. They did not listen to the laws of Hashem, regardless if they were Jewish or Christian, it doesn't matter. Okay? And they are not willing to sit down with you. They want war because they do not want to submit to the kingship of Hashem. This is basically what it's all about. Yeah. So, and now we are at the culmination that over the last 50 years, a generation grew up, a generation like I grew up parallel to Jerusalem. Yeah. So now I'm 56. Yes, 56. So now Jerusalem will turn 56. Okay. So during this time, I saw the rise of Google, I saw the rise of Amazon, I saw the rise of the internet, and so on and so on. And I saw all the people who grow up with me parallel, like our foreign minister, Annalena Baerbock. She's now 40. I said, what? You know, you have like, she is not even able to, you know, articulate herself, and made a fool out of herself right now when she was in India. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Now, last year when she came to Jerusalem, you know, I was furious about this. She went first to Yad Vashem, you know, and, you know, really shed tears. Oh, as a mother, I can understand. 1.5 million children died in the Holocaust, and so on and so on. So, and then a day later, she was in Ramallah, you know, standing there with the Palestinians. I said, yeah, but it's absolutely illegal according to international laws that Jews are living in Judea and Samaria. So yeah, exactly. That's the point. So on the one side, she says, yes, I'm very sorry that the Jews died in the Holocaust. It was basically the Germans, sorry, it's us. You know? But hey, listen, you know, the survivors, it's illegal for them. So it's illegal for them to live in their own land. I said, oh shit. So, and then they turned around and gave like hundreds of millions of dollars, of course, to the Palestinians again. And then the rockets started. Okay. So I was furious about this. So I see now this generation, the young leaders, the young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. Justin Trudeau. Yeah, I mean, you take a look, Macron, no? Emmanuel Macron. So they're all working for the World, you know, Economic Forum, for Davos. They are part of this deep data agenda. So now you see 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, younger guys, and you say, oh my gosh, this is the outcome. This is the generation. So you clearly see who grew up rooted in the Torah, in the straight path, and who grew up in the path of those who left. And
so, Ulf, I think that the real question becomes, you know, Baruch Hashem, a person like me, I grew up in Chabad, I grew up in 770, I grew up with the Torah, I grew up studying and praying and studying Hasidic philosophy and so on. And so some of the younger generation are quality, but a lot of them are just dancing on TikTok or whatever.
Absolutely.
And I think that if the agenda of making all men weak, you know, just like when you breed a dog, after a couple generations, you make him into this little poodle, you know, into this little. Exactly. This. So you take instead of him being an aggressive wolf, he becomes this little spineless nobody.
Absolutely.
So the same thing is like, imagine after generations and generations of this agenda to destroy the man, to destroy the family, to destroy independent people that can grow their own food and raise their own chickens and have a little farm. They don't need anybody's help, but they want everyone to be collected together and have this collective society. They want the big companies to be out making food, but they don't want the individual people. So all this, I'm not saying anything new. Everybody knows that this is happening. So what's the product? Emmanuel Macron, a little guy who flirted with his teacher and somehow got married to her. As they say, as Bilam would say, don't ask too many questions if you don't want to know the whole story.
Yes, absolutely.
So you know, at that point,
as a socialist,
at that point, these weak men become in charge of the country for whatever reason, and then they don't have the ambition, the capacity the stamina, as Trump would say, to make their own money. So what do they end up doing? They end up selling their entire country for a few dollars. That's what
Yes,
happens.
because they're not
So
working.
the real
Because
question
they're
is,
not working for the country. They're working for whoever who's educated. So he was baptized.
no, they don't believe.
Yeah, think about this. He
They
was
don't believe that they
baptized.
can. They don't believe that they can hold the country up.
No, because the country is a business unit. The country is a business unit. I thought about this. How this. I was short before we started the recording and started talking. I was writing on an article, especially on this thing. How is this now to transfer the whole idea of the holy nation? So there is no doubt about this, that the Torah speaks about that the children of Israel are the chosen people. They are the nation of Israel, and they have to be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Because out of this reason, God brought us out of Egypt and brought us into the land. Now, the current nation of Israel are not the people of Israel. Yes, there are the Jewish people living there, but there are also the Druze living there. You have Palestinians living there. You have Arabs living there. You have Christians living there, and you have all types of them. It's like a Erev Rav, basically. So you have a mixed multitude living there. These are the currently. So the question is, what is Israel? So Israel is like every other state, a business unit who's registering humans. So when you are born in the United States, you get a birth certificate, a social security number, and a passport. Now you have a legal person, you can act. So now because you're Jewish, so you can go to Israel, you go to the Jewish agency, you get a stamp, and you got a Teudat Zeut, PEPT, and Israeli papers too. So you have now dual citizenship. Dual citizenship. So as a citizen, you are obliged to pay taxes. But so now a citizen of Israel today is like a completely different story than to be a member of the holy nation of Israel. So
100%.
Israel currently exists. So the high court we have is a business, which is basically regulating all the organizational structure. And it's done by non-Torah observant people. So the Torah in that court system it has no issue. It's a completely according to international trade laws and contracts and so on and so on. Now, all people who are working in that system, they had to be educated in that system, like Emmanuel Macron, from early age. And I believe that people were specially bred to take on positions. Yeah, because this breeding of people, putting people into power, goes for at least hundreds of years. Who is doing the biddings, So if you take a look at some of the family histories of politicians on power or presidents, it's, this is where it comes from, All presidents are somehow relatives of the King of England, of the United States, but 3.
All right, so I want to go back for a second, if it's okay, to talk about the advertising and proclaiming of what we're doing, this Sanhedrin initiative.
Yes,
and that is
Yosef, before we go there, was I able to somehow, explain the real difference, between the nation, the state of Medinat Israel, and the Goy V'Kahal Goim of Israel? There are two different people. You have the Goy, and you have the Medinat. So you have the state and you have the people. And it's now
you explained it very well. I actually think that one day they're going to merge into one piece, because at the end of the day, we want that all of our business transactions should be according to the Torah, according to Hashem, and it's going to have a merging. Right now, we have a situation where, due to lack of leadership, due to lack of people with a spine in the Knesset due to lack of people that understand what the vision of Am Yisrael is. We have this system that's whatever, temporary in my eyes. But the moment people like myself, like you, show that we're ready to take the responsibility, give guidance to the Noahites, to the Jewish people, to bring back the Torah, which is the whole world is waiting for us to do this.
Yes.
Okay, so it's inevitable, and it's something that we want to do. It's something. It is the mission of the Jewish people. It is a reason why our ancestors died al Kiddush Hashem.
It's a mission of Ephraim. You know,
yeah, it is a mission.
Yehoshua ben Nun, I'm so proud of my ancestor. I can say, yeah, but he was an Ephi. You know, Jesus was was an Ephi. You know, it was just a mistake, you know, this other guy, that Jesus was Jewish. No, Jesus was Ephraim. It's totally hilarious, you know, when you think about the...
No, but the point is, all those who today identify with the Jewish people, with the Torah, with Avram, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, with the Noach, with Bnei Noach, with the Malki Tzedek, with Shem, the son of Noach, the righteous son of Shem. All those who identify with Hashem's Torah, with the lost tribes of Israel, however you want to put it, in any language, the point is, those who are looking for Tov, Tzedek, V'Yosher, truth, and goodness, and righteousness, and straightforwardness, and honesty, all those who seek truth and justice and fairness in the system today, we can all get behind the Torah, and we can all push for the Sanhedrin and all that. And I want to go, so definitely I believe that whatever construct this system, I mean, the construct is less than whatever. The point is that the Sanhedrin will have to deal with all this and have to see, are we looking at every person as a business? Are we looking at him as a human being? How are we looking at him? Are we going to give him rights according to the Torah? How are we going to integrate the spiritual and physical systems together? There's a lot of work to be done, definitely.
Yes. And
but I want to just go quickly.
Why I think, why you said it has to be, every person to be regarded as a business. According to the current law system and definitions, a person is always a business. So it can be a natural person, then it's a human, but in any case, what you have in your passport is in any case a legal person. A legal person. So in Germany, that legal person only has a name. It doesn't say family name or just say name. And the name, just the name, is the name of a company. And this is why it's very important that the Sanhedrin has to be a person, it has to be a body with the Charta, with the founding document, and with terms of service. But it has to serve humans created in the image of Hashem who want to live according to the Torah. And in that moment, it becomes the predominant judge, basically, for everybody who, by free will, it says, yeah, but I agree to the Torah. And we talked about this, so we agree on that the Torah is true, that these are the true laws. And based on this, we conduct business. Meaning, I don't cheat you, I don't lie to you, I don't steal from you, I don't envy, and so on and so on. And in my best capacity, help you to succeed and be blessed in everything you do. So this should be the basis for a Torah-based business relationship, in my understanding. Yeah. So, and when people going into contract, then they're going into contract because it's an advantage for both of them. They're going into business because when you exchange goods and services, it's positive for both of them. Yeah. So one person is in need and the other needs the cash so they can exchange and so on. So this is what the world makes run. In the very moment the Sanhedrin is created as a structural body, and I was thinking about this a lot now. So now the advisors of the Sanhedrin, not the advisors, the judges, So according to any rule and regulation, according to every law, so when you sit down with a group of people, 7, yeah. So you're six Orthodox Jewish rabbis and the priest of the order of Melchizedek, let's say, as an external witness. Okay, so you have 7 guys, And they are signing now a constitution that they say, today we have founded the Sanhderin, it's active for business. Here are the responsible persons to, from this day onward. Boom, you sign it, then these are the people. And now you start, just adding, those who use, now you have an offer, it says, okay, these are the cases, we can deal with, and now people can go in. And in the moment that is done, everybody who signed up, for example, at our place, we said, okay, we accept the Torah as our terms of service in life. In the moment, are customers where they say, yes, because now we can get our human rights, our human right of freedom of religion, of freedom of speech, that we can speak out about the truth, that we can go up, freedom of movement, that we can go up to Jerusalem. That, for example, our religious freedom, we know that we are not Jewish. We never said that we are Jewish. We said, okay, we're coming from the other lost guys, totally some cuckoo, they're lost, but we all submitted to the rule of Torah. And according to what we read in the prophets, the Geulah, the complete restoration of Israel, has to include some people from Israel, Ephraim, and some people from Judah. So it is when we say, okay, I'm not Jewish, but I recognize, oh, this is Joseph, totally cool. So I say, I'm from Joseph, I'm Ephraim. So then it's my freedom of religion to make peace with you. And nobody should stop this. Nobody can stop this. In the moment we agree, we do it, it's done. And then so we also don't need any permission from the state to do this. We just have to tell them. This is what Ezra says, we have to put in judges and magisters and so on, and teach all those who do not know the law. And everybody else, Jew has to just tell them the law. If they don't know it, okay, then you have to teach them and you have to tell them. So everything what is outside Israel currently, and here now the thought is coming into action, because over the last years, Yosef, now we put together, we are thousands of people have been touched by what we did. Okay, now there are hundreds and hundreds of people out there that are running around now with our Ephraim national identity card. Yeah. Now this is super duper legal because it's according to every law. We don't claim to be what we are not. We never said we are Jewish, but according to the latest laws of the Vatican, of the State of Israel, of America, and the United Nations, when we agree to make peace and to come together and teach together the Torah to the nations, and for any questions, agree to go to the Sanhedrin, it's done. Nobody can do anything. And I believe, personally, in that moment, we do that. We get the full support of the new incoming US government by Donald Trump, because he will definitely become president again. Definitely.
100%. So let's summarize what you said, in my opinion. So we have, the way I understood it, we have a situation where we have the Israeli government. We have a situation where we have the governments of the world, Umot HaOlam, the nations of the world, and they are pushing forward the Geula narrative. They are pushing forward the redemption narrative in their limited capacity. And like we said, the Pope and the Vatican and all these corrupt countries, they all try to pretend to be the Jewish people. I just added the coronation of the King of England. Now they went to Israel to get special olive oil and cinnamon.
Yes.
They mixed it and they tried to make something similar to what the Jewish people snatch a little bit of the kingdom of Hashem and legitimize, kind of paint the pig and say he's kosher, So the real kingdom is truly the Torah. The real kingdom is truly Hashem.
Yes.
The real kingdom truly is through the expression of the Sanhedrin and the expression of the Jewish king and the expression of the temple and the expression of the eradication of Amalek. And hopefully we will get there. And the real question right now is, how do we merge the two systems, the current systems and the true systems, in a way that doesn't result in World War III, and of course in a very smooth process. And I want to go straight away into what we spoke earlier before the video, which is that the newspapers, whether it's the Chabad newspaper, whether it's the Christian newspapers, all the newspapers in the world that claim to be representing Hashem, the Rebbe, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, have to understand and learn and study about the Sanhedrin and why the Sanhedrin is the next great thing in Jewish law. And they need to raise awareness.
Yes.
Raise awareness and make a new campaign to explain, because most people have no clue what the Sanhedrin is and why it's so important.
Yes.
We need a campaign to raise awareness about the Sanhedrin so that people understand what's going on and they can get behind it. And this is including Chabad, this is including Beis Mashiach magazine, Radio Kol Chai, all the radio stations in Israel, all the newspapers in Chabad, newspapers and so on, because this is really the way out, and this is really what they're advertising. This is really, it's not enough to just go, and this week's Parsha, Moses gets off the mountain, and hopefully one day we'll also get off the mountain. Stop it. Stop it. Stop publishing the Torah and giving people a carrot and running around. We have millions of Jews in Israel. The ultra-Orthodox are the right-wing majority in Israel right now. Now is the time to strike with the Sanhedrin. Now is the time to build the third temple.
Yes.
According to Jewish law.
Yes.
So what is the holdup?
Here's the big issue, Joseph, and this is number one why I will support the Sanhedrin initiative, until it's finished and the work is done. The point is, you see already since the year 2004 what internal issues there has been with the all stuff what happened with the Sanhedrin before. Okay, then you have the internal Jewish quarrels, which happens right now. Yes, everybody knows it's Jewish law, but right now the left does not accept Jewish law. The left, they open up their mouths, they have, they are corrupt, they lie, they steal, they murder, and so on, and fund terrorists. I mean, this is currently the left, and it's disgusting. Okay, and they are so powerful. They're so powerful. Yeah, that. And why? Because they're in their evil, they are unified. But in their
Rabbi Bar Chaim told me that back in
their holiness, the right
they killed their opposition. They actually had certain people killed that they didn't agree with. So when Ben Gurion's boat, the Altalena, came to the shores of Israel, Yitzhak Rabin was on the shore, and he opened fire on Ben Gurion's boat because Ben Gurion had it was more popular than him, and he was a Zionist right-wing Jew. He was a little bit of a socialist and a little bit of a this and a that, but he was definitely pro the Jewish Medina Yehudit, the Jewish state, and he did take the Torah seriously. And Ben Gurion was fired at. So by who? By Yitzhak Rabin, the guy who was killed. Now, whoever doesn't know history doesn't know that Yitzhak Rabin had it coming. Okay, he had it coming to him. That he was shot after shaking hands with Arafat. Okay, he had it coming. Now, does that mean that the guy that they think shot him is the one who actually shot him? No, they don't have. They don't have the evidence.
I know the whole Rabin story.
Yeah. But So what I'm trying to say is that the left in Israel, because they don't have morals, because they don't have ethics, because they have nothing stopping them from being complete murderers and killers and thieves, it's on the table. It's an option. Whereas the right wing It's not an option. Why? Because Hashem said, don't kill. So we're dealing with people that are ready to kill
Yes.
for no reason because somebody goes against their agenda. We're dealing with, but now you see what's happening is because they're running so far away from the Torah, their whole existence, and anything but the Torah is going to be the law of the land. They said, you know what? Let's make it that there's something called democracy. So instead of just saying the Torah is the law, we have to say, but wait a minute, maybe the majority will be the law. And now something weird happened. The majority want the Torah to be the law. So now they're like, hey, no, that wasn't the point. The point was that we should be in charge.
Exactly.
That was the point.
Exactly.
The point was that the Torah shouldn't be the law.
Exactly.
That was the point.
This is why it's
use...
called our democracy when they talk about this. It's not mine.
Right. It's yes. So they were saying the real meaning behind democracy had to be that the Torah never makes it to the top. And the moment you have the majority of the right and the majority of the ultra-Orthodox Jewish people and the Arabs and the Christians in Israel that voted for the ultra-Orthodox Jewish people to be in charge because they're the only ones having kids and not running around in clubs dancing with a dress on.
Yes.
And now we are the majority, and now we are going to take back the justice system, the secular justice system in Israel, and we are going to put the Sanhedrin in place, and we are going to build a temple. That's what's going to happen. And the left, if they think that they can kick and scream, it's not going to work. Because now, based on our rules and based on their rules, we are in charge. And we're having the same deja vu that we had after the 6-Day War. After the 6-Day War, the Jewish people owned a huge amount of Israel. And then our weak politicians that were from the left started giving back pieces of land and started to try to appease the Arabs. This is unheard of, that after you win a war, you start giving back land. You are disgracing the people that died.
Looking back into the history, so there is no doubt about that. 1917, when the English king on the throne of England changed his name to Windsor, so and Rothschild was already for 100 years, the prime banker of the royal family, So then 1917, the Balfour Declaration came out. So, and now the Russian Revolution starts and the German Revolution starts. And there are now they start communism, the Gulag, all the socialist agenda, and so on and so on. So basically the Soviet Republic afterwards, 1917. So, and this is where all the left ideas are coming from. Now, 100 years later, you can say with 100% certainty that the real guy, who holds his lock on the land of Israel is the Pope. And there was no possibility in the history of the Jewish people for the last 2,000 years to get a sanction from the king of Rome, from the king of the Roman Empire, from Edom, that they allow the Jews go back to Israel. At no point. So the socialists basically, what I see they said, okay, we leave Judaism, we become, Masons and so on, or Christians, and now basically, on the one side, completely, bring Christianity to implode, what's currently happening, their morals. But on the other side, the beast, the king of Rome. And
well, of course, there's definitely two agendas going on at the same time, of course. But again,
I don't think that everybody who is now a leftist, actually thinks about this, But from a Jewish perspective, for 100 years, the 1917 was a very crucial year. You had short before the Fed opened, World War I. And then, the kingdoms of the earth became companies.
Ulf, I want to say something, that the leftists in Israel right now are getting paid top dollar to protest because the globalist elite are like throwing everything they have. You can get 100 shekel an hour and a brand new fresh Israeli flag and a few signs to go protest anywhere in Israel today, and it's fully funded 100%. It's, you know, locked and loaded. And the globalists like George Soros and all these other shady companies that are anti-Semites that are trying to destroy Israel from the inside are paying a lot of money. And I actually want to sign up some of my friends, my rightist friends, my Orthodox friends, 1 second, to get 100 shekel an hour.
Soros is an anti-Semite.
Wait a minute, Ulf, wait a minute. I want to sign up some of my Orthodox friends to these protests so they can make a side hustle and talk to their fellow Jews at the protest. What the globalists don't understand is that the Jewish people and money. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that even the leftists, the ones that are non-religious and they're ready to go and protest and hold a sign, they're not going to tear down this country. You know, let me give you an example of Ukraine. When the Nazis came into Ukraine.
But please, let's go shortly, because George Soros, anti-Semite, big pocket. He finances J Street. He finances prosecutors in the States. He finances European Union guys. He finances all kinds of shit. Only left agenda, and spends billions for it.
100%, 100%. I want to say like this. In Ukraine, for example, when the Nazis came in, they said to them, we're coming soon. Get ready, all your Jews. We're going to process them, you know, process them and kill them. By the time the Nazis,
we have a solution.
Yeah. By the time the Nazis came to Ukraine, there weren't any Jews left. The Ukrainians killed them all by themselves. And that's why we have the revenge of Hashem specifically in Ukraine right now. Because this is the prophecies coming fulfilled, that whoever touches the Jewish people will end in bloodshed. But that's another point. The point I'm saying here is that if the leftists think that they can find a few Jews. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute.
Sorry,
if the leftists think that if they can find a few Jews that maybe today they don't keep Shabbat, and they're going to pay them money to destroy the Jewish state of Israel and the Torah way, then they gravely miscalculated the Jewish spirit and those who live in Israel. They're going to spend billions of dollars, and I'm very happy about that. They're going to throw billions of dollars to the liberals in Israel. The liberals in Israel are going to swallow all of their money, and the globalists are not going to get their agenda across, because even the most secular Jew, the only thing he is scared of is the religion part of Judaism, but he's not scared of the Jewish part of Judaism. In other words, he eats challah, he makes kiddush, he'll put on tefillin once in a while, he loves Chabad, Enel Chabad, you know, he'll dance on Simchat Torah, he'll dress on Purim. Maybe his daughters will dress like hookers, but they're going to get dressed on Purim. Okay, so he embraces the culture of the Jewish people. He might be a little bit far from Judaism, but he's kind of waiting for the Torah to kick in. So these are the kind of people that the leftists, that the globalists are relying on to pull off the revolution from the inside. It's not going to happen. I'm just saying. So good luck, but it's just not going to happen. Go ahead, Ulf.
Yeah, I was, you know, with the left and the Jewish people, you know. So it's basically the left started out by killing each other. I mean, it's the whole time. And this is one of the worst where I see, okay, yes, there is this huge calling on the Jewish people. Absolutely. But the enemies are within, because Jewish people are killing Jewish people, Jewish people ripping off Jewish people, and so on, you know. And the judicial, I mean, we see this in America currently, Adam Schiff, Bernie Sanders, you know, when I start now counting here, Chuck Schumer, worst type of guy, where I said, okay, that this is not really what the Jewish people were called about. So now we have all the other guys, you know, where you said the guys who are living in Israel. So now for years and years and years, I'm trying to convey to all my also the Christian friends, of course. You have like this huge crowd of pro-Israel and pro-Jewish Christian Zionist group, like here, Christian Embassy, like here, Christian United for Israel, here from John Hagee. I mean, there are groups which are supported by millions and millions and millions of people. Now, currently, because they only wait for the return of the Jewish Messiah, they say, okay, we are all heathens, and we leave it up to the Jewish people to figure this out, and they are the only guys left from Israel. Now, in the moment you take that stand, so you have 2.3 billion heathens who believe in a Jew, and they believe that all Jews are Israel, and they have to figure this out. And I think, from the very beginning, I said, no. Within the Christian, and this is what's written in the New Testament directly from the start, is that all tribes are coming back. So meaning the resurrection of the dead. Yes, Jesus was, say, it's the firstborn from the dead and so on. Long story, doesn't matter, because we are living today. And today it's not only that the Jewish people resurrected from the dead, came back to Israel, but also those from other tribes which were not recognized as such. And they came via the Christian message, because they heard about the Torah and about Israel and about, in their church in a foreign land. Then they opened up the Bible and started reading and moved to Israel. So we have to give them a share, because, in the moment we explained to them, I said, what I try now for 23 years, I said, listen, Jesus, as an Orthodox Jew, so he told all his followers to keep the Torah, all of them. Yeah? And he also said that his followers should listen to those who sit on the seat of Moses, to the rabbis. We shouldn't necessarily do what they do, because some of them are hypocrites, okay, but we should, listen to their teaching, because of the application of Torah. So this is even what Jesus said. So this is hardly known, because nobody read the New Testament, nobody read the Old Testament, nobody read the Tanakh, nobody studied. They all believed their party leader, their pastor, their rabbi about what they told them, without having one original own thought and then putting his own thing into action. Yeah. So, and I think,
okay, so we need to pack it up. So I just say a short closing statement and then followed by yourself.
Yes.
Okay, so in short, I have a message for all the Jewish people and all the Orthodox Noahites, that we should definitely teach and publicize all the details about the Sanhedrin, about the justice system of Israel. People don't know how righteous and how amazing the court system of Israel is. People don't have people are worried that the day the Sanhedrin's open, there's going to be stonings, just like in, the Arab countries. They don't understand that this is the best system in the world. So honestly, whoever has the capability to educate his friends and family about the Sanhedrin should definitely do so. To those who claim to be the spearhead of Judaism or any other, one of the three faiths that believe in Hashem, they need to understand you can become part of the grinding of the mill, nothing new, teaching people stuff that doesn't matter and is not going to take them anywhere, or you can actually finally become useful to Hashem and push the new agenda of the Sanhedrin.
Yes.
And like we said, first of all, Das, to bring down the thought to action, we need to understand that the Torah has 613 commandments, which are physical things that need to happen in this world. That's number one. And we need to build a temple, and we need to crown a king, and we need to have a Sanhedrin, and we need to eradicate Amalek, And when we do all these things, then we have the prayer that Hashem will pop up and hopefully reveal himself to this world. But we have a lot of work to do before we can even expect anything like that. So that's number two. The last thing I want to say is to all those that are caught up in the loop, in the loop of exile, free yourself, join TorahClub.com, join eminglobal.org, join us, sign up, become a member, support us in some way. Machatzit shekel right before Purim. This is your last chance. And yeah, and let's see you with Mashiach.
Thank you, Joseph. This was a quite nice statement. And I've what from from the non-Jewish side, from the Noahide side, from the nation of Ephraim side. We support you all the way. Yeah, we hope that our fundraising initiative, will take in more. And we are really looking forward, to make the Sanhedrin an initiative. So to all my, Christian friends I don't have anymore, they are now my Christian enemies, more or less, because of the Jesus issue. So regardless how you see this, so Jesus himself said that in the end, if your righteousness does not surpass the righteousness of the Pharisees and the scribes and the high priests, you will not enter the kingdom of Hashem we are talking about. So I consider Joseph, as an ultra-Orthodox Hasidic Chabad rabbi. Well, he is one of the Pharisees. The amount of Torah this young guy learns surpasses most likely of any Christian of any age. And this is something which is specific to the Jewish people. And, from our side, when we take a look what Jesus really said, we should follow the lead of Orthodox Judaism. I absolutely believe this. So, and this is the step what I did. So we try, to not only support, but to build this really bridge and be a translator, between Orthodox Judaism and Christians and Orthodox Judaism. Yeah, because there is still a lot to come, but the Sanhedrin is one of the most important issues, and very importantly, even Joseph, you visited Ariel Cohen Aloro, the Sanhedrin, for any Christian who is still mad that the Sanhedrin, basically made a death penalty verdict on Jesus concerning, this should be reversed. There are plans to reverse this issue, but it has to be reversed at the Sanhedrin. So whoever is serious, to bring back the Jewish Jesus, the Jewish Orthodox Jesus into the Jewish people, well, there need to be a Sanhedrin. It has to be addressed with the rabbis. And so I'm there for everybody who's, from the outside world, outside Israel, who doesn't have a clue about everything. So I'm there for a translator, because we support this 100%. As the nation of Ephraim, and hope to really bring back the kingdom back to Israel, as all the prophets says. So this would be my closing statement.
Thank you so much for those warm words, Ulf. Thank you so much for your support and for your people's support. It definitely really inspires us and motivates us to talk at the Knesset and to continue connecting all the dots and really working power drilling this through all the way.
Yes.